So guys, many Nigerians have been reacting after, they released this video that Donald Trump praised Remi Tinubu. So we know that Trump will actually make statements that will allow him achieve what he wants to achieve. You don't expect him to come out and begin to talk down on Remi Tinubu, considering the fact that America actually wants to work with the Nigerian government to get the information they want. Now, see what this person here tweeted. He said, Miss Tinubu, the First Lady of Nigeria, is parading around Washington, D.C., going to have level meeting and eating at fancy restaurants while she's here saying there is no genocide going on. Over 300 Christians have been massacred within the last 72 hours. The people doing the killings are Fulani ethnic militia. Jude Saul, Executive Director equipping the persecuted, is the one that tweeted, that said something like this. Now, visiting Jude Saul's page, this is how he actually stated it. He said, over 300 Christians killed in the last week. Attacks and kidnappings in the Middle Belt continue while Ms. Tinubu is on a $9 million propaganda campaign touring tour, claiming there is no Christian genocide. U.S. groups are gladly taking the Judas money. Hey! So he's saying that Tinubu's wife is out there sharing money just to cover up, and U.S. groups are gladly taking the Judas money. Donald Trump, Nigeria needs help. Please donate to equipping the persecuted if you want to help persecuted Christians on the ground. So this guy, his group has really been doing a lot for the people in Niger Delta. Now, see what this person here tweeted. He said, I finished watching something online on the visit of Remi Tinubu, the wife of Tinubu. She went to America. Who knows? The lobbying is now working. Maybe they knew there was prayer breakfast. They organized for her to attend. So guys, hey, they lobby. So they're actually saying that, okay, it's no more lobbying the groups in America. Now they actually went there to lobby Donald Trump. So a whole lot is happening. Now I'm going to allow you to listen for yourself what this man has got to say. I mean, Jude Saul, what he has said about Tinubu's wife visiting the US. And all what is going on there. And then you are going to be watching these other videos. But before then, see what this headline says. It says, breaking news. A United States congressional hearing on global religious freedom has criticized the federal government's reported $9 million lobbying contract in Washington, with lawmakers warning that the deal appeared to be aimed at downplaying serious human rights and religious freedom violation. Everything is politics in Tinubu's book. Now, let me show you how some Nigerians have reacted to the news of this American accusing Remi Tinubu to have used the influence of lobbyists to attend the prayer meeting where Donald Trump was said to have praised her. That the money the American firms are collecting are Judas Iscariot money. Now, see how more Nigerians have reacted to that. This person here said, the lobby group has given her the 1 minute fame she paid $9 million US for. They don't understand how Trump rules. This person say, these people will go to any length to cover up the atrocities of Christians, but the simplest thing, they won't do it. You can imagine if Remi Tinubu can spare her time to go visit people in the IDP camps. You can imagine if Remi Tinubu has started a foundation that condemns the acts of the Fulanis. She is a Christian pastor. She has gone to say there is no Christian genocide. Now, this other person here said this. President Trump is wiser and smarter than all of them. He knows what he's doing when he showered her with praise. And this other person said, Remi Tinubu that crashed into the U.S. prayer summit with the help of lobbyists is a sympathizer of Fulani killers and a tribal bigot. And this other person here said, they decided to promote the narrative that Trump made the following statement. We are honored to be joined today by the First Lady of Nigeria, who also serves as Christian pastor at the largest church in Nigeria. She is a very respected woman. And then this person went further to say, let us set the record straight. While Remi Tinubu was seated as a guest in the crowd, Trump cited Nigeria as a primary example of U.S. government not adequate as a primary example of a government not adequately protecting its citizens, Christian citizens, and presented U.S. military action as a necessary response. They decided to promote the narrative that Trump made the following statement. We are honored to be joined today by the First Lady of Nigeria, who also serves as a Christian pastor at the largest church in Nigeria. She is a very respected woman. And Donald Trump also said, we knocked the hell out of them the other day in Nigeria because they were killing Christians. You know about that. They were killing Christians. You can't deny. You can't do that. That was what Donald Trump told Remi Tinubu. Even though Donald Trump praised Remi Tinubu, like they said, Trump was just, playing his politics. And that's what he knows how best to do. So guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more. Now take a look.
Passed into law in 1988, and it has made a major difference globally, including now in Nigeria. We can't take our eyes off of that. I just want to say to my colleagues, to all of us, I'm deeply concerned that Nigeria has hired the K Street lobbying firm, DCI, to the tune of $9 million $750,000 a month. And a Nigerian billionaire, has entered into a $120,000 a month contract with Valcor to influence Congress and the executive branch. And Ambassador, you know as well as I over these many years, because you have fought this fight. They hire these firms, they come up with their very well-written talking points to say, nothing to see here. Whether it be Haiti, China does it better than anyone else, or worse really is what it is. We saw it with Romania. I remember during the years of Nicholas Ceausescu, and I led the effort on that along with Frank and you, Sam, Mr. Ambassador. And they always had these lobbying firms that said, Ceausescu's a good guy. He has all these churches that he has opened. He was torturing Christians. And the book that got me into religious freedom myself was Torture to Christ by Richard Wurmbrand, who talked about the duplicity and unfortunately, how these firms are just so good at advocating for their client. Well, advocate for freedom and end to religious persecution. I have many other things I'd say, but I want to cut it off here. And I do want to thank, again, all of you for being here. I'd like to yield to my good friend, Ranking Member Jacobs, for any comments you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, all the witnesses, for testifying before the subcommittee on this important.
And that's why this ganging up is taking place. Nigerians, smell the coffee. They hate you. Wicked politicians, they are evil. You hate Nigerians that much? What have Nigerians done to you, politicians? I just finished watching something online on the visit of Remi Tinubu, the wife of President Tinubu. She went to America. Who knows? The lobbying is now working. Maybe they knew there was going to be a prayer breakfast. So what did they do? They organized for her to go and attend. Was it an official trip? How did Remi Tinubu find herself in a prayer meeting? Has she been able to handle the prayer meetings in Nigeria? What have been the effect of her being a pastor of Redeem? And they're using that as a cover to cover up, lying to us. That's how Tinubu connived and used the church, brought Buhari to learn Christian choruses so that he can get the vote of Redeemed Christian Church, since there are millions. And I don't know why Papa cannot see that these people are playing game using religion. Now, Remi Tinubu has gone to attend a prayer meeting. You know even what Donald Trump was talking about concerning his coming to Nigeria because of the prying of Christians and why he sent them to bomb the Sokoto area, the terrorists that are there. And he still reaffirmed his commitment to make sure that this comes to an end. Our mainstream media, are they bringing that out? And even some of the celebrities, what do you hear? They're talking about Remi Tinubu Donald Trump went to America and she was well received. That's the narrative they want you to get. They're not even bringing out the fact that President Trump is still committed to make sure he ends this insecurity in Nigeria. But what are they doing? All our politicians are doing, including the Remi herself, is politics. Since they tried every other means, other ways to connect with Trump and they couldn't. So what did they do? They used the woman. You go and attend the prayer meeting. When they see you, and then let them know you are a pastor, you are not a Muslim. There is no Christian genocide. And that you're a pastor of the largest church in Nigeria. And the fact that you, as the president's wife, can be a pastor, you will not be there and just be watching them pie Christian and call it genocide. There is no genocide. Can you see how they are trying to divert our attention? This is what they are always doing. When Nigeria is suffering insecurity, Donald Trump just came. You said you have signed an agreement with him to go after these terrorists. Whether you call them Boko Haram, ISWAP, the Macrowas, and especially the Fulani headsmen. They have killed more than all the other terrorist organizations put together. But that's one area people are not looking at. Many of the places where people are tied in hundreds at one go, Yelwata, that was there. And even all the other places, mostly is Fulani headsmen. While all that is going on, America is here to help. Instead of concentrating, let's see the help from America. Let us see it bear fruit. But they are now diverted because Gumi, the one they are afraid to touch. If somebody else says, just think pink, they will send DSS. They will send the police. They will go after that person. Gumi has been talking. He has been meeting with terrorists. What has happened to Gumi? Gumi said, we don't want America. We don't want Israel. And he said, go to Turkey. Go to Pakistan. Go to Iran. Where did Tinubu go after being out of Nigeria for a long time? And he came back. Instead of facing what is happening, facing governance, he ran again to Turkey and signed memorandum of understanding. And we know Turkey is been known to be a nation that is not only sympathetic to terrorists, but sponsors terrorists. I'm turning 70 just in a few weeks now. Some of you are young, but you're not talking. Then you will come and be criticizing people like us when we talk. It's your future that is at stake. I am settled. My children are settled. My grandchildren are settled. But I refuse to be selfish. We can't only think that if it's well with us, then it doesn't matter what happens to others. And that is being the position of some people. The position of some so-called rich people. The position of our so-called celebrities. Talking about Grammy Awards. Talking about how they dress while the nation is going down the drain. And even their songs don't respond and address challenges that people are going through. People come to politics not for the people, but for their own selfish agenda, selfish benefit. And somebody is saying, we are just shouting on social media. Well, this is the medium I can talk, but I'm not going to be quiet. Remi Tinubu, you went to America and you say you are a pastor. Which kind of pastor are you? Remember Esther. Esther stood. She was not going to let her people be annihilated. And through that, she called for a prayer. Have you called for a prayer? But you are going for prayer in America. Which prayer have you attended in Nigeria? Even the mass burials of Christians that are being killed, do you attend? Do you say anything? Heartless journalists that are not there for the people, but they are there for who pays them the highest bidder. They are changing the narrative, making it be about Remi Tinubu. Where what that is happening, since the time she traveled, how many people have been kidnapped? How many people have been killed? And now we're trying to talk about Remi Tinubu going to America. What has that got to do with the lives of people? What has that got to do with the destiny of people? What has that got to do with the economy of Nigeria? We are talking about lives being killed by heartless criminals, aided by the government. The same Tinubu knows why he is not going after them. Because he signed an agreement with them. They said, we will let you become president, but just promise you will not kill our people. Those of you that are doubting me, is there anything sinister? Is there anything crooked? Is there anything that has a mark of secrecy that Tinubu cannot do? Is there one? Tell me one. Somebody that can hire people, traders, people from the street, and dress them like bishops so that the Christians will say, okay, even bishops are behind it. Somebody that can do that. Why should we still be surprised? What comes off his sleeve? We haven't seen anything. For Tinubu, the end justifies the means. That's why he's calling governors and wooing them. PDP governors, LP governors, people in the House of Rep, people in the Senate, including local government. What have Nigerians done to you? You have lived your life. You have more than enough money to live 10 life circles. Yet you don't care that Nigerians are dying under your watch, and you're sending your wife to go and play politics in America. President Trump, don't allow them deceive you. Don't let them use any lobbyists around you. Nigerians are suffering. They are dying. Since the last time you bombed Sokoto area, the northwest where the ISIS are, it's not only ISIS. It's not only ISWAP. It is Fulanis living among us, being sponsored, being aided, being supported by the government. The Tinubu government is hiding something from you, and they are trying to create a false face. But secretly, they are meeting with bandits. They are killing people. They are terrorizing the nation. And people are dying daily. Every day that this thing delays, only God knows how many people will be killed. President Trump, don't listen to these liars. They don't care about our people. Right now, as Nigerians are dying, they are already ganging up. They have collapsed the different political parties. So they are already plotting and planning towards 2027. Don't let them lie to you. This present regime, they don't care. They hate Nigerians. They don't really care what happens. Please, President Trump, don't stop what you have started. May God protect your soldiers. You will not lose any of your soldiers that you have sent for the benefit of us Nigerians. Please, do me a favor. Share this broadcast. Every Nigerian needs to listen to it. Especially tag all the politicians. The ones in the House of Rep, the governors. Send it to the Senate. Send it even to Aso Rock. Send it to Donald Trump. Everybody needs to hear. Enough is enough. We can't continue like this. Well, let me end here. If you're watching me on Facebook and you are not following me, go ahead and follow me. And also like this broadcast. By so doing, it will be recommended to more people. And if you're watching me on YouTube and you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and press subscribe right now, and also the notification bell, so that anytime I have a broadcast, you'll be among the first to be notified. It was great being with you, and thank you for being patient in listening to this long broadcast. I just had to pour out my heart. And once again, I want to say thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I remain your friend and brother, Dr. Haruna Goro. Bye-bye for now.
I beg everybody seeing this video to share this video. Do you know that the wife of the president, Sheyi Tinubu, don't travel, go America, go beg Donald Trump? You don't go beg Donald Trump. You don't go beg Donald Trump. Why they take? Oh, Jesus Christ. I beg everybody, share this video. I will play a video for you now. You go see how useless and how Jesus Christ. What they don't turn Nigeria to. Now, after they talk to you now, Nigeria is the most useless country now. It takes America to report our news. It takes America to report the deaths of people when they are dying for Nigeria. It takes America to report the news of Nigeria now. Now, America, now they stand up for Nigeria now. America, now they stand up for Nigeria. America, now they stand up for Nigeria. Everybody, they don't buy everybody. APC don't buy everybody. Every day different killing. Every day different killing. After they talk to them, they don't even know the number of deaths when it don't happen since this thing. They never know. You know why? Because every day it keep rising. Watch this video.
Pretty hard. But we're honored to be joined today by the First Lady of Nigeria, who also happens to serve as a Christian pastor at the largest church in Nigeria, a very respected woman. First Lady, please, where are you? Thank you very much.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wife now, pastor. I talk her. Because the way pastors, people they talk for this matter, I talk her. So Tinubu wife now, woman of God. Jesus Christ, God. If you not scatter Nigeria because of religion, then God, you do wayo for this life. So Tinubu wife now, pastor. Now that they kill Christian, more than 500 Christian, more than 300 Christian, none of them don't talk about her. Mama, you go talk who call you. If now Adeboye now call you, or now God call you, you go talk her. I talk her because I talk say, you know, say that the Adeboye now elderly man. I don't want to talk about her. But for you to be pastor for Redeem, when they kill people, you, First Lady, you don't get heart, you don't get sympathy to come as I call address the nation. Even if your husband na pagan, you want you be pastor. How about you? How about you? You don't rush go America. Wait till you go America. Since when they never send army call Nigeria, you no go America. Now they don't send army go take over the country. You they go America. You they go back Donald Trump. Sir, Donald Trump, no agree. That word when you say respected woman of God. That is her. We know they respect her. She not be woman of God. They just give her because say they want to take big tithe from your hand. She not be woman of God. God no call her. Now the church now call her so that they go fit get money. Not be God call her, daddy. Not be God call her because daddy Donald Trump. Because now you be our papa now. We no get papa again. Now you be our papa. Now you dey fight for us. If this woman is a woman of God, daddy, as I said, the killings, whether they kill Christian, they kill Christian, more than 500 Christian, more than 300 Christian, every day by day. Ask them, say, why she never talk to her fellow Christians. Say, may they believe God. Even though she know me now. Ask her, say, why she never organize press conference. Ask her, say, why she never travel. Go north, go see what's the app for there. Ask her, say, why never talk to your husband. Say, only address the nation. The killing is too much. Ask her, which God call you? Make you show you the day, the number. When God take call her. Because I know, say, God not call her, say, hello, is it Sheyi Tinubu? Wow, I want you to do my work. Work. Why? You be harassing. You be harassing. Why Mushuku? You be harassing. You not be woman of God. You be harassing. Why Mushuku? I know that you be harassing. You know, be who pass. You be Harrison, first lady. You be Harrison. You they do kidnapping job. You be Harrison. Now you don't go America now. You won't go beg, say, oh, when they release, this is, you see, we are working. Sir, we are not working. Christians are still dying. Every day, you want to go talk, say you be woman of God, so you know what you are saying. There is no genotype. Daddy, there is genotype. There is genotype. You don't see several videos. Guys, please share this video. Share this video. There are different videos I will play. You go America and go beg. Daddy, if you see genotype, if you see the way you keep, Jesus Christ, God, I beg.
As First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu during the 74th National Prayer Breakfast in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. The National Prayer Breakfast is an annual event that gathers political, religious, and international leaders for reflections on faith and unity. During his address, Trump paused to recognize the First Lady, who attended as a prominent Christian pastor and faith leader. He described her as a very respected woman and a woman of significant influence and faith, noting her position as a pastor at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, one of Africa's largest Pentecostal denominations. Let's take a look.
But we're honored to be joined today by the First Lady of Nigeria, who also happens to serve as a Christian pastor at the largest church in Nigeria, a very respected woman. First Lady, please, where are you? Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Very respected person, too. Thank you.
Very respected person. Well, some may see this public recognition as a game changer in U.S.-Nigeria relations following Trump's designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concerns over reported Christian persecution. Now, Nigeria's First Lady is being honored at America's most prominent faith event. Whether this signals a thaw, intentions, or is simply diplomatic courtesy remains to be seen. And I'll take Adebanji's post on X. He wrote, when the world's most powerful leaders start giving flowers to our First Lady, it tells you the narrative is changing. You can't hate the player and the game at the same time. This is a win for the green, white, green. First getting that global recognition from President Trump, the most beautiful thing on the timeline today. To the obedience. If this makes you angry, you might need to check your patriotism. Levels stay changing. But meanwhile, President Trump also confirmed that the U.S. worked with the Nigerian government to carry out the December 25th airstrikes in Sokoto State and issued a stern warning to terrorists in Nigeria, declaring that attacks on Christians will be met with violent retaliation from the United States.
On Christmas Day, in close coordination with the government of Nigeria, we worked with them, but they got to get tougher. I ordered powerful airstrikes to decimate the ISIS terrorists who have been slaughtering Christians in that country by the thousands. It's not even believable. We hit them so hard, they still don't know what the hell happened. And we were going to do it on a different day. I said, no, do it on Christmas, so they understand it. Remember, Christmas was, when I ran in 2015, when I announced, I said we're going to bring back Christmas because the word Christmas was almost gone, and we did. People use Christmas anymore. We brought back the word Christmas. They didn't want to use it, and we're using it again. But I specifically told Pete, I said, hit him on Christmas Day. Not earlier and not later, right, Pete? And man, did he hit him. So then we hit him again recently. We hit him again pretty hard.
All right, Trump's remarks here gives room for a wider interpretation. On one hand, he's publicly honoring Nigeria's First Lady as a respected Christian pastor, while simultaneously maintaining his stance on Christian genocide in Nigeria and issuing warnings suggesting that the government needs to get tougher against terrorists. Like I said,
thank you.
All the diplomatic.
I think you're the only one, at least I've seen so far, that's played, this length. The only video that, and for good reason, you can understand that. But two truths can exist at the same time. And earlier today, I'd asked a question in analyzing this story that, or commenting on the story, that is it possible, to what extent would this public acknowledgement and praise of the First Lady? I'd also talked about, just to give a little picture of the fact that, in truth, you can't argue the fact that Mrs. Remi Tinubu, in her own right, has demonstrated quite a significant and record in her own public service life. She was first lady of Lagos State. She founded the New Era Foundation, and I will never forget the governor of the day in promotion of education in Lagos State, which has been sustained up until now. So she's known as a philanthropist, a community developer. Then also she went into the Senate. She was elected to the Senate, and she made considerable mark while she was there in the Senate, almost scot-free in terms of scandal, a few here and there. But now she's become First Lady, and a number of people have praised her status so far, having elevated that role. Some people thought she would be very dominant, but this is the definition of soft power diplomacy. And just to end on the fact that many other First Ladies have done it. In fact, we're talking about Eleanor Roosevelt, who was a delegate, a U.S. delegate to the United Nations.
You should mention is a Vita. Vita Peron. That's the highest standard of soft power diplomacy.
But what I would say is that we want to see the perception of Nigeria on the global scene positive. However, it shouldn't take away our responsibility to fix our challenges and issues around Christian genocide back home. But I'm glad for this particular, interaction between the president and the First Lady.
All right, well said, Ayo. Well said. Well, let's take a lighter story now. In the United Kingdom, Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch had an unexpected guest steal the spotlight during a live television interview on Tuesday. Guess what? It was a mouse. During the interview on ITV's Peterson show, viewers spotted the mouse scurrying across the floor in the background while host Robert Peterson was interviewing Badenoch in her Westminster office. The rodent was captured darting under the radiator as Badenoch discussed political topics completely unaware of the foreign intruder. Let's take a look.
Those are the owners of the house.
The important thing is that the information comes out. And let's be honest, Robert, at 12 p.m. today, the Prime Minister was saying he wasn't sending anything to the committee. At 12 p.m. today, the Prime Minister was saying he wasn't sending anything to the committee. He'd done nothing wrong. By 12:30, by 4 p.m., by 7 p.m., all of that had changed.
My predecessor said, that mouse not tenant. Is that the real
That's the real landlord.
Oh, that's the real, not the tenant.
The mouse is the landlord.
Is the landlord of the place, or mouse. But Rufai, that moment quickly went viral on social media with the original post garnering over 1.4 million views. But British media outlets had a field day with the Mirror describing it as a grim moment where Badenoch was upstaged by a rodent really quickly.
If you check the historical antecedents of London has dealt with rat issues big time in the past. So having rats and rodents in the house, those are the real owners of the house.
No, it's not AI, right?
No, there's not AI. They are standards.
Yes.
They are British citizens.
They are British citizens. Yes.
We used to call a rat anytime he showed up like that. Okun Kalaba. So it's very interesting to see that Okun Kalaba got a visa to live.
No, he lives there. They say he's the owner of
it's Okun Kalaba. Well, we called it Okun Kalaba. To be in the office of Kemi Badenoch.
Yes.
Well, the thing is that we had an experience in Nigeria. President Buhari, when he found a rat in his office, they shut down the office for renovation. But I don't want Kemi Badenoch to go that far. At this time, when she's fighting to get Kestama removed or for him to resign, fumigation. It's a lesson to us that it's not only in Africa that we see Okun Kalaba. They also have it in England, and Kemi Badenoch could not be able to say.
I can assure you, it's not AI, and there's no Okun Kalaba here. Yes, I can assure you, Okun Kalaba is not here. It's not here. I'm just telling you.
Everybody, this is Judd Saul, the Executive Director of Equipping the Persecuted. I don't try to come out every day and get a lot of attention by putting out videos of myself. Usually the purpose for doing this is just because I have something that I have to say and that I'd like to raise attention and a certain awareness about. And I just wanted to come out and say this. So I just got back from Washington, D.C. I was at the International Religious Freedom Summit. And lo and behold, the Washington, D.C. lobby firm known as DCI Group, the company that has taken over $9 million from the Nigerian government to put out a narrative that there's no genocide, that everything, is okay. And poor Tinubu has just inherited such a mess that he can't handle everything that's going on, but also to say that there really is no genocide taking place. It's just people being affected, and poor Tinubu just doesn't have enough resources. I just want to point a few things out real fast. First of all, DCI is a Republican-leaning firm that took $9 million, which I refer to as Judas money, to lay cover for the genocide that's happening in Nigeria. While Mrs. Tinubu, the First Lady of Nigeria, is parading around Washington, D.C., going to these high-level meetings, eating at the fancy restaurants, while she's out here saying that, poor Tinubu is in over his head and that there's really no genocide taking place, the fact remains that while she's here, over 300 Christians have been massacred within the last 72 hours. In Taraba, in Benue, major attack in Kwara, killing in Plateau. The vast majority of these victims are Christian. The people doing the killing are Fulani, ethnic militia. The attacks in Kwara were committed by radical Islamists. Now, while Nigerian government is spending $9 million bringing a delegation to the United States to say that, there's no genocide going on, it's okay. They could have spent that $9 million protecting their own citizens. I'm gonna make you aware of really how things work in Nigeria, to put it in perspective, because I don't think most Americans or Westerners really understand how this works. Did you know that the average soldier in Nigeria makes $100 a month? The average police officer makes about $100 a month, if they're lucky, and even if they get paid on time. Now do the math. $9 million can pay for a lot of security personnel at $100 a month, especially in the very hard hit areas that get attacked over and over and over and over again with no security. Now, I'd like to highlight a certain thing, a specific instance of what we know had happened in Benue, in Kwandi, in the Kwandi area. The local police and military were in the middle of a rotation. Now, that means soldiers and police are moving out and new ones are moving in, but they don't do it at the same time. One goes and then one comes. But for some magical reason, the terrorists knew that there was a rotation taking place, that the military was moving and that the police were moving. Somehow, magically, the terrorists knew when this was going to happen, so there was no security in the area. And then they go and unleash and kill civilians. Women, children, men were murdered in these attacks. And there was just an attack last night, new attack in Benue, not too far from Kwandi. All while the First Lady is spending Nigerian government money to put out the false narrative that there is no genocide against Christians. To every Nigerian watching this, you guys should be very, very, very upset that your government is spending this kind of money to change, to put out a false narrative instead of protecting your people. You Nigerian senators, congressmen, and politicians should be very upset about what's happening in your country, while hundreds of your innocent people are murdered every week. Every single week. Thousands of your people are getting kidnapped yearly. Sometimes multiple hundred in one setting with no police or military intervention. This lies on your shoulders. The responsibility to protect your people rests on your shoulders. And instead of expounding all this energy and money to put out propaganda, why don't you just take your resources, your energy, your connections, and your efforts to actually solve the problem, which would bring about a better future for all Nigerians and be a better future for your country? Is the little naira, the little payoffs worth it? Is the bribery you're taking from the bad guys worth it? You want to keep running your country into the ground for little pieces of silver, betraying your own people to benefit yourselves? Or would you rather see a prosperous, functioning Nigeria that is the beacon of all Africa and could be a beacon to the rest of the world of what a prosperous, secure, free society looks like? I ask you this question. I'm still going to be coming to Nigeria. Our teams are still going to be working on the ground trying to pick up the pieces after these attacks, the pieces that you guys failed to pick up. We're going to help the lives of the people that you're refusing to help. But we're still going to be a voice for the voiceless in your country and across the world. We're going to be a voice for the suffering Nigerian Christians. And we're not going to back down. And I don't care if you're waiting it out till Trump is out of office, which I've heard is what you guys are doing. You're planning on waiting it out till Trump's out of office. Just play the game for long enough as your people continue to suffer, get kidnapped, get massacred. There's no reason for this. Do the right thing for once. Stand up for your people. Protect the innocent. Fight the evil that is killing the innocent, that is doing the kidnapping. And to my fellow brothers and sisters in Nigeria, my fellow Christian brothers and sisters, you guys need to speak up. You prosperity preachers need to speak up. Christians in Nigeria need to unite under one voice to say enough is enough. And to the Muslims in Nigeria that are sick and tired of watching people being killed and kidnapped, and they just want to see a free, prosperous Nigeria, you need to join in the chorus with the Christians and say enough is enough. All it takes is willpower. All it takes is everybody getting behind one another, helping one another to defeat this evil. And to my friends, my colleagues, and to the politicians that represent us in the United States, President Trump, we could be doing a lot more in Nigeria to give the good guys a helping hand. But we need to identify who's doing the killing and acknowledge it. We need to identify all the bad actors, including the Fulani ethnic militia. It's not just ISIS. It's not just Boko Haram. The group that's responsible for doing the vast majority of the killings of Christians is the Fulani ethnic militia, and you have to identify them for who they are if we're going to put a stop to it. I'm asking you, President Trump, Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, put time, effort, and resources into exposing the Fulani ethnic militia. It's not just Boko Haram and ISIS that are dangerous. There's a third large terror element called the Fulani ethnic militia that need to be dealt with. But I'm asking for the world to join, brothers and sisters across the world to join this cause. If you'd like to help persecuted Christians on the ground immediately instead of waiting for political action and political help, which I hope one day comes. In the meantime, there's dead bodies. There's wounded in the hospitals that we're taking care of. We need all the help we can get at equippingthepersecuted.org. For a little over $1 a month, you can partner with us at equippingthepersecuted.org. Join the cause. Be a part of the solution instead of just talk. God bless you all, and may God help Nigeria.
So guys, you can see what's happening currently in Nigeria. So many people have been criticizing the Tinubu's government for the poor handling of security. I'm just wondering how Tinubu's wife, everything about Tinubu it has to do with fraudulent activities. You can imagine sending his wife, and with the help of lobbyists, were allowed to go see Donald Trump, and today the media is carrying it that Trump praised you. If Trump praised you, does it deny the reality on ground that Christians are being killed? I mean, that Trump praised Tinubu's wife, does it deny the fact that Christians are being killed with Tinubu doing nothing to it? I mean, Trump really has to pay attention to Nigeria, especially as regards to the forthcoming election, because you can't allow people like this who do not have the interests of the Christians in this country at heart, you know, to continue to rule this country. Because guess what? The next election is not even going to be about the credibility, because these people are out to wreak at all costs. They are just out there to wreak at all costs. It does not concern them what people are going through. They just want to wreak to bring Tinubu back to power, despite the fact that they know that Tinubu has not done well. But for them, Tinubu should continue from where he stopped. That is what we are seeing currently in Nigeria, which is very, very wrong. So guys, a whole lot has been happening, and Nigerians are wondering how long are we going to struggle with this insecurity in the country, considering the fact that Tinubu is not even saying anything. Can you imagine how many people were killed in Kwara State? I mean, people were massacred in Kwara State, and the Tinubu's government has they don't even have any apology to Nigerians, as in they don't care what your thoughts are. Tinubu cannot see. If Tinubu cannot visit these villagers, can't Tinubu just come out, make a statement to at least make them know that I'm not happy with what is happening? Tinubu is so silent. Terrorists are killing the people. Tinubu is so silent. He's the one that criticized others, criticized Jonathan, criticized every other government. But under Tinubu, Nigerians are going through hell. Christians are going. Can you imagine that these terrorists came to preach Sharia? They came to preach Sharia. People are wondering where were Christian leaders when Sharia was introduced into the Nigerian constitution? How did it happen? Where were Christian leaders when Sharia was introduced into our constitutions? You know, today they are telling you that they cannot get rid of Sharia. That is already in the constitution. It does not concern them. It does not concern these people at all. It doesn't concern them. And that's why Nigerians need to really sit up. People need to sit up to deny what we are seeing today in the country, because guess what? We cannot continue this way, guys. We can't. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.